Hey everyone, and welcome back. I want to share a story with you today. A story about a student named Ethan and his philosophy professor, Professor Lin. It's a simple story, but it holds a powerful lesson that completely changed how I approach conversations, learning, and even life itself. It all starts in a cozy café, you know the kind, with the soft hiss of the espresso machine and sunlight streaming through the windows. Ethan was meeting Professor Lin to get advice on his senior project. He was eager, he was prepared, and he was also a bit too full of himself. As soon as Professor Lin started to offer his thoughts, Ethan would jump in. "Oh yeah, I've already read that paper," he'd say. Or, "I actually tried that approach, and it didn't work," because he wasn't really listening. He was just waiting for his turn to speak, to show how much he already knew. Professor Lin, calm and patient, just smiled and sipped his tea. After about 20 minutes of this, Ethan leaned back, feeling pretty pleased with himself. "So," he said, confidently, "what do you think of my ideas?" Professor Lin didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked at Ethan's empty teacup. "You like tea, don't you?" he asked. Ethan, a bit confused, just nodded. "May I show you something?" the professor continued. He picked up the teapot and began pouring tea into Ethan's cup. He poured and poured. The dark liquid reached the brim, and then it started to overflow, spilling across the saucer and onto the wooden table. "Hey, stop! It's spilling!" Ethan shouted, grabbing for a napkin. Professor Lin calmly set the teapot down. "Yes," he said softly. "It's spilling because the cup was already full," and in that moment, it hit Ethan like a tidal wave. He finally understood. The professor looked at him with a gentle expression. "You come to me for advice," he said, "but you arrive already full of your own thoughts, what you've read, what you believe you already know. When the cup is full, nothing new can enter. If you truly wish to learn, you must first empty your cup." Ethan was floored. He felt a blush of embarrassment creep up his neck. His first instinct was to argue, to defend himself, to explain that he had done his research, but the words caught in his throat. He saw it clearly now. He had filled every potential moment of learning with his own noise, mistaking his own confidence for genuine understanding. He picked up his cup, the one that was now a mess, and took a slow sip of the cooled tea. It was still rich, still good. "I see," he said quietly. "So, how do I empty it?" Professor Lin's smile returned. "By listening," he said, "truly listening. Not just waiting for your turn to reply, but listening to understand." The very next week, Ethan went back to his professor's office. This time was different. He opened his notebook, held his pen, and after he asked a question, he stayed silent. He absorbed every word, without feeling the need to prove himself. And for the first time, complex ideas that had seemed just out of reach suddenly started to click into place. Years later, whenever Ethan found himself becoming too certain, too loud, or too eager to teach instead of learn, he would pause. He would picture that teacup overflowing onto the table. It became his personal, quiet reminder that wisdom can only flow into an empty cup. This story reminds us that learning begins where our ego ends. It happens in that quiet, open space when we stop planning our response and simply listen. How often do we enter a conversation with our cup already full, ready to debate, to prove a point, to show off what we know? We miss so much that way. True connection and real growth happen when we have the humility to say, "I might be wrong," or even better, to just be quiet and let new information pour in. So, the next time you're in a discussion, I challenge you to try it. Empty your cup. You might be surprised by what you learn. Thanks so much for watching and sharing this moment with me. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep your cups empty and your minds open.